Hi everybody, this is Lady Locks. I have this Dorma DC 3003 that I've been working on for a while now. It took me 11 days to be able to even pick it open the first time. I picked it open again today, so that was the second time I've ever picked it, but I wanted to try to get this on camera if I possibly could, so bear with me. I will explain what I'm doing and kind of what I'm feeling, but there might be silent spots when I get really involved and need to think about what I'm doing, so I apologize ahead of time. I'm trying to make sure I can get this picked in a timely fashion to try to get it in a good amount of time so that I can put it up on YouTube and people don't get bored watching it. It is boring to watch somebody pick a lock for 25 minutes, so I'm going to give it my best shot. Yeah, but here it goes. Let's see what I can do. Gonna use top of the keyway tension for this one. I don't think bottom of the keyway would work. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't really use it that often, so I'm not gonna be using it on this one. And plus, the pins come down really far inside this lock. So having a bottom of the keyway tensioner in there will block the way if I've got this tensioner here and it's very hard to fit because you want it to be a tight fit. The tighter it fits in there and the more space it takes up, the better. So bear with me while I even get the tensioner in, but it's not going well already, is it? Let me just turn it so I can see what I'm doing first. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to be picking it clockwise. You can pick it clockwise or counterclockwise. It doesn't really matter. That's one good thing about this lock. But I'm going to keep it up in this corner so I can rest my arm while I try to pick it. I don't pick... I don't lever my picking this one very often because you have to really gently pick these. You can overset every single pin and just one overset will make it so you can't even open it. So let me see what I can do here. Pin 1, got a little honey click. Alright. Trying to get this very first pin to see where I'm at here. Okay, worked my way back from the front. All I really got was a couple clicks that time, so I'm gonna start over again. Try some to see if anything else was binding in there. Right. I also could hear pins dropping as I was picking. As I was picking some of them, you can hear others drop. So you have to really go back and check them all when you even get anything set, because everything drops in these for some reason, and there's really not much in the way of feedback on these either. Okay, I think was pin 5. I gotta click out of, and that also feels set, but that doesn't really mean anything this early into it because, again, everything can drop. That's pin 6, and now, right, that was pin 7. Pin 4. No, but I believe this is pin 6 or 7. It feels binding. It's really binding tightly. Oh, and there you have it. I got it open. Okay, so now I'm going to try to gut this. I have all my tools. I brought them over with me because I didn't really think I was going to get this open. But just in case I did, I brought everything with me. So I know the rule is do not take the lock out of the camera. So there it is. Alright. Move this stuff out of my way. Now, all I did was go through that and just gently, I mean really gently, and I didn't lever my pick on anything because when you lever your pick off of things, I feel like you can click it in and it oversets because they overset super fast. So I'm going to grab out a couple of things I'm going to need. Always, 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 shims are your friend. Because these... I'm going to turn a light on also, see if that might give me a little help, because I'm very blind when it comes to all this. Alright, I think I might have everything I need. Give me a second. Alright, my gorgeous pinning tray from Bobby Keys. Alright. So, there's a tiny little, if you could see it, there is, let me focus this in. There's a little band that goes around the back of these that holds the everything in place. And you're basically just going to take your wrench and push up. Let me make sure I lock this first. Let me turn this back. Because I don't want to, there you go. Okay, so make sure you turn it back just because when you're taking this apart, everything can just go flying everywhere. So I've got this little band back here. I think if you just get one of the corners and push up on it, it will come off. So that's what I'm gonna do, hopefully. Just push one of these corners up. Now since this one is a new one, I've never done this. There it is. Okay, I've never done this one, so it might have been tough. Also, I don't know if this matters at all, but there's a little dot on this right there at the top. I don't know if you could see it, but let me move my table back. I don't want my lock to go off camera. But that's going to go on the top when you're putting this back together. Going to pull that off. Now always, always make sure you're holding this. Even it might be tight, still keep a hold of it because you never know when that the core might slide out. I just did a Mako and turned it like this and wasn't holding on to anything, and the core just flew out and the pins flew everywhere. So it was a nightmare. First, alright, so I'm gonna take my key, okay, and I'm gonna turn it just ever so slightly this way. And again, I'm holding everything and I'm gonna put a shim in. You want to turn the key first because if you put your shim in this, lock, and then you turn the key, the shim will move. And you're just gonna make sure that you put your shim right where these pins are in here, right underneath them. And when you're putting your plug follower in, you are also gonna make sure that this piece here is facing up to cover these pins when you slide it through, because it is notched. I don't know. And this piece you want to make sure is facing upwards as well, because you don't want to have it like this or anything and then you go to slide it through and the pins can fall down through here and get all jammed up. Also, make note of where your key pins are going to be coming out, and you want to keep your thumb like right over top so that when you slide this through, the key pins, you can keep them in place as well. So you're just going to line it up, make sure everything's lined up, make sure your shim is in there, make sure you're ready for the key pins, and you're just going to push this straight through. And try not to break it up as much as possible, just one little slide straight through. Okay, so now I'm going to set this right here. It's still on camera. Just make sure I stay right on top of the skeleton face here. Nothing goes out of camera. Alright, so now I'm going to take out my pins. Number 1. Number 2. 3. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, I'm not gonna gently turn them around. Alright, they all look like they're facing the right way there. Okay, and now you can take your key out, but this is what that's gonna look like. All empty. There's no counter milling or anything special about this piece, so we're just gonna set those aside. And now we're gonna move to get these pins in. Well, I really don't think we have to take the springs out, they're just springs. But you're gonna go through. Now you're gonna take this and push it very slowly, and make sure your tweezers are right over the hole. Let me just try to make sure this is zoomed in as good as it can be. Take these right over the hole and watch, because they're gonna pop up. So you're gonna keep this tweezers level with it, and out comes pin 7, tapered, right? Pin 6 is tapered as well. Pin 5. Found another one of these. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but last time I took one of these apart, this came out as well, so I'm not real sure where this goes. I think it's on the other side of this here. Anti-drill pins that just fall out. And these springs inside are super heavy duty, so it's very hard to get all these back in. You try to go shooting everywhere. Let's see, I still have 3 to go. Let me push this back through here. Okay. Pin 3. and there's pin 1. Alright, and you can see inside, here we just left the springs inside. But these are the pins that were in it. Try to bring it up close without losing any pins, and so that you guys can see what I have here. Alright. Okay, now putting this back together, you're just going to do the same thing you did to get it apart. I'm hoping I can get this back in here without having to take these springs out, because they're just super long and a pain. Let me maybe I'll take one out just to show you guys what they look like. They actually are pretty heavy duty, but actually I might have to get them all out and take them out and just I can see they don't want to come out. Alright, 1, 2. Okay, I made a mess of the springs, but you can see what we're working with here. So now I'm going to put my plug follower back in here. Let me see how I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to start with 3, 2, and 1. Put pins 3, 2, and 1 back in here. Move my light a little bit so I can see getting them in. Right, so spring number 3 to the back. 2, 3. Hopefully I can get these tapered ones in without it flying across the room. This is super hard to do. Alright, pin 3's in. Huh. Okay, spring number 2. Pin number 2. Bent that spring a little bit, but it should be fine. There we go. Number 1. Okay, now turn into the back. I'm gonna push this back through and get these last few in. So 7, 6, 5, and 4. Okay. Pin number 4. Oh. Okay. Number 5. Number 6. Oh, almost lost it. These are the ones I'm talking about. They're so hard to get in there. There. Okay. Number 7. Caught it that time, but if I lose this, I'll cry. Okay, got it. Now we're going to put our key pins back in. Number 7. Make sure always put them in the right way. Number 6. Number 5. 4. 3. Whoop. 3. 2. And 1. Alright, and now to get this back in, you want to follow the same thing you did to get it out of here. But you're going to put the shim in the front this time. Because you're going to be pushing that in the same way you took it out. And there's a little line on that if you don't watch, it will get stuck and you may get pins drop in that little crevice. So I always put this in just like so. Make sure your follower is turned like I said with so there's no notch there. You're going to take this and you're going to make sure that little shim covers that little notch, which I'm going to pull it out the tiniest bit more just because. There we go. Okay, so we're covering that notch and you're just going to push this straight through like that. Now, take your shim out. You're going to turn your lock back to closed. Right. Make sure your key works. Make sure you hold on to this when you pull your key out, because if you don't, you will lose everything. Place that back on the back. And place this clip right back over this. Right here in the back. Whoops. Now you want to put the clip down facing like this. Right on top of that. Actually, this one was crooked, I believe. I need it to cover both of those. Nope. No, I'm just going to put it straight down like this and hope for the best. Alright, looks like that. It's fine to go straight down onto it. but for some reason mine's not working. And there we go. Alright, I had to push it with that. Alright, everything's back on the back. Got the key working. And there you go. Pick and got the Dorma DC 3003. Thank you guys for being super patient with me. Sorry the video was 25 minutes long, but you can fast forward or skip it or whatever you'd like. Alright, thank you for watching, everybody.